who's the most popular politician on the left?
AOC? I don't know.
One of, but who's Bernie is
Bernie, yeah.
Bernie is, I mean, he's not a capitalist, you know?
No, he's not. And he's also not president.
He's not, but
never would be.
But neither is Mamdani.
No, no, but he will, trust me, he will be featured in the campaign commercials.
But they're going to feature people, they boogeyman everybody.
Yeah, but you don't have to boogeyman him. He does it to himself.
Bill Maher has returned with yet another incisive political analysis, this time focusing on the Democrats and Zohran Mamdani, one of their rising stars. Maher explores what he sees as deepening divisions inside the DNC in his most recent monologue, contending that the conflict between Mamdani's democratic socialist principles and the party's present course may portend significant difficulties in the future. With his characteristic candor, Maher's observations bring up important issues regarding the future direction of the Democratic Party and the politics of the country. Hold on tight. You should pay great attention to this one.
It seems to me that there are two pillars that this country is founded on. One is democracy, and one is capitalism, free markets. And it seems like one party wants to get rid of one, and the other party wants to get rid of the other. Right? The Republicans are not that, democracy is just not number one on their list. It just isn't. It isn't. It's behind Christianity and a few other things. And the Democrats, I mean, I read these, 74% are for democratic socialism. Only 16% favor capitalism. Is this going to be a country that I don't recognize in 5 to 10 years if we don't have these two pillars?
To correct the record, Republicans value justice and are not opposed to democracy, has frequently been at the heart of the storm, as they have endured years of fierce scrutiny from left-leaning media and their loyal fans. It occasionally seemed that the intention was to damage the Republican brand in the eyes of the public, whether through dramatic headlines or dubious charges. The nation's political division has grown as a result of these persistent attacks, which have also damaged public confidence in the media. This begs the crucial question: should those responsible be held accountable if disinformation and false narratives have wreaked such extensive harm? After all, honesty, openness, and equal justice for all are what democracy is built on, not dishonesty.
If we don't, I mean, where are the Democrats going with this? If Mamdani is the face of the Democrats on the East Coast and Katie Porter is the face on the West Coast, I don't know if that's great politically.
Bill Maher poses some important queries regarding the course of contemporary American politics in his talk. Two up-and-coming politicians, Zohran Mamdani and Katie Porter, have provoked heated discussions on the future of the country. As a self-described democratic socialist, Mamdani supports measures including free public transportation, rent freezes, more taxes on the rich and large corporations, and even government-run supermarkets. Some perceive his ideas as idealistic, while others see them as a step toward a state-run economy, emphasizes inclusivity, and supports transgender men's involvement in women's sports as a matter of justice and equality. Both appear to be battling for justice and development at first glance. However, Maher contends that underneath their rhetoric is a more profound and nuanced issue: how to strike a balance between pragmatism and compassion, as well as how much idealism the nation can tolerate without jeopardizing its social and economic stability.
Who the mayor of New York is doesn't matter.
Let me play devil's advocate for a second. Do you think, let's say, on the seize the means of production, do you think that the mayor, that one person, if he's a democratic socialist, do you think that he would have the power and influence to be able to, like, usher in socialism?
He definitely has the power and influence to elect J.D. Vance or whoever is the Republican candidate next time. It is a walking commercial for the Republican Party nationally.
The Republicans are going to...
When you let the Democrat socialists, and now they're actually calling themselves socialists, when you let them take over a major American city, this is what you get. The state-run grocery stores, which worked so well in Cuba and the Soviet Union.
Maher's main point was clear. If Zohran Mamdani's influence continues to grow, Republicans like J.D. Vance could have a real shot at winning the presidency. He's not wrong. Many voters worry about policies that edge too close to socialism and the real-world consequences they could bring. In the U.S., political tides shift fast. When one party moves too far left, the other often gains ground. Maher warns that Democrats risk losing independents and moderates, the voters who usually decide elections if they align too closely with socialist-leaning figures like Mamdani. If that happens, the GOP could have a smooth path to victory in 2028. Mamdani's rise serves as a national warning for Democrats, not just a New York story.
Trust me, he will be featured in the campaign commercials.
But they're going to feature people. They boogeyman everybody.
Yeah, but you don't have to boogeyman him. He does it to himself.
But they'll do it regardless. Nancy Pelosi, Hillary Clinton, Gavin Newsom.
Yeah, but
they make anybody into boogeyman.
It has.
I think it was
just have more weight when it's.
At its core, Mamdani frequently turns into his own worst hindrance. His vision of a socialist society based on equality, justice, and widespread government assistance seems admirable on paper. However, in reality, it poses significant questions regarding human freedom, economic balance, and sustainability. A far greater percentage of voters view his beliefs as divisive and unachievable, despite the fact that some find them appealing. Mamdani's theatrical rhetoric tends to overwhelm his aims in today's political environment, where success is often defined by perception. His ideas seem too radical, too dangerous, and too disconnected from the realities of governance to many Americans. Because of this, he still has little prospect of becoming a national leader, even with his increasing influence.
You don't have to boogeyman him. He does it to himself.
But they'll do it regardless. Nancy Pelosi, Hillary Clinton, Gavin Newsom.
Yeah, but
they make anybody into boogeyman.
It has.
I think it was
just have more weight when it's real. I mean, when you can really.
It's important to remember that a lot of the people this liberal commentator says conservatives unfairly criticize have mostly caused their own issues. For instance, Gavin Newsom. His failures were caused by his own poor leadership during the deadly Palisades wildfires in California, not by some major right-wing plot. Too few fire crews were available, he was woefully unprepared, and he even diverted water that may have saved lives and homes in order to safeguard fish habitats. Nancy Pelosi is the next in line. When it was revealed that she had made money from insider trading, she was able to destroy her reputation without the help of political adversaries. The irony is glaring. The liberal elite frequently gripe about being portrayed, yet their dubious decisions and intentions speak louder than any critic could.
This must be horrible for a guy like you, who you spent your whole life talking about how government tries to do too much, which it does, and spends too much. And here you have Trump, who is the Republican, who is aggrandizing more power than anybody, as we just talked about. And on the other side, you have the guy running in New York, Mamdani, right? Okay, who's like a straight-up communist. I mean, he is. He talks about, the things that communists say. I mean, he wants free grocery stores, free buses.
I want him to win.
You want him to win?
Yeah.
Mamdani appeals to many young Democratic voters, though much of their enthusiasm stems from idealism rather than experience. Many haven't studied communism or witnessed its harsh realities. To them, a world where everyone shares equal wealth and power seems perfect. While appealing in theory, history shows that such systems often lead to economic collapse, authoritarian rule, and loss of freedom, as seen in the Soviet Union, Cuba, and Venezuela. Still, many young people view socialism as fairer and more compassionate than capitalism, overlooking that its promise of equality can hide censorship, control, and the suppression of personal freedom, the very values democracy was built to protect.
I think every 20 years or so...
Wait.
We need every 20 years or so, we need a conspicuous, confined experiment with socialism so we can crack it up again. Socialist slogan used to be, workers of the world unite, you have nothing to lose but your chains. The new socialist slogan is, trust us, this time it won't be a mess.
The bottom line is clear. History shows socialism fails far more often than it succeeds. Yet many young Democrats believe their version will somehow work. But decades of social and economic collapse prove otherwise. Grand promises of equality have repeatedly led to scarcity and lost freedoms. We should learn from the past, not repeat it. Despite its flaws, capitalism still drives freedom, innovation, and upward mobility.
When the post-war Labour government in Britain was about to get started, one of their leading lights was a socialist named Nurian Bevan. He said, what could go wrong? He said, we have a nation bedded on coal, surrounded by fish. It would take an organizational genius to have a shortage of either. In 3 years, they had a shortage of both. That's it.
Maher is right. A Mamdani AOC ticket in 2028 would likely be disastrous for Democrats. It might excite a small far-left base, but would alienate moderates, older voters, and the working class who've seen the damage of extreme ideologies. Democrats need balance and practicality, not rigid idealism. On paper, such a ticket may seem bold, but in reality, it would push voters toward the center, or even the right.
It's not about the big crowds that come out to you when you're talking in a festival or wherever they are. I think it's because I think Bernie showed up at Coachella. That must have been fun for the fans. It's who shows up on election day. And I just don't see that's the ticket. I mean, Cory Booker, I know you've worked with him. I like Cory a lot from my home state of New Jersey. Made a speech for 25 hours. Again, just whacking each other off. This is just not what's going to get the job done.
The Democrats need a realistic candidate who truly understands the struggles of everyday Americans. For too long, the party has been trapped in identity politics and abstract ideals, instead of addressing real issues like rising living costs, job security, and economic stability. People care more about providing for their families than about ideological debates. To regain trust, Democrats must step outside their political bubbles and connect with diverse viewpoints. They need a leader who understands America's problems on a practical and emotional level and offers real solutions. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.